Everybody to We Geek podcast. Today is October 4th. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
Hey, and just wanted to apologize about last week. I had something going on with my family I had to take care of, but we did have an episode up all about Destiny. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's been kind of a crazy week. You know, I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've heard about what happened in Vegas. Just kind of at a loss for words. This thing keeps happening. No, it's insane. A lot of people lost their lives, and a lot of people got injured, and a lot of people are affected by this. I can't even imagine. It just, seems like last year was in Orlando, and it's crazy. If you're local, donate blood. If you're away, maybe reach out to the Red Cross, see what you can do. But God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of numbers and stuff going around. I don't have them in front of me, but if you are local to that area, do what you can to give blood. They absolutely need it.
Yeah, and go and follow up in a month. There's a lot of these people that need donations are going to have multiple surgeries, and something I didn't realize, blood is good for 42 days. So go back in a month, go back in 2 weeks, go back in a week if you can, and follow up, and because there's always there's never enough, and especially after something like this. I mean, giving once is extraordinarily appreciated, but it's not the end. They constantly need help, and especially after something like this, it's going to put such a stress on those kinds of supplies for a while yet. So, I mean, yes, go today, give, God bless you, but also follow up and donate a second time if you can. I got nothing, man. It seems like it seems like we wake up and we see this and we're not surprised like we should be anymore, because we look at it and we think, oh, another one, and it's
right.
Not in a callous kind of this thing happens all the time thing, but just in a this isn't, it's horrifying and it's terrible, and in a way it is shocking, but it's not unique anymore.
Right, it's become a crazy pattern that is faster and faster, and it's I was up when this was going on, and I was playing Destiny, and I saw that there was a shooting. I thought, okay, maybe it was just one person, and then when I started to see and then over time you see the news updating, and then multiple shooters, and then or what they thought because of what happened, and then when it came out of how many were killed, and that the guy was up above, which you don't think of, God, is terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Like I was going to bed. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I just saw like the first reports of shots fired in Vegas at country music show, and I pushed it out of my head because I thought, well, yeah, that makes sense. It didn't register to me. I thought, my first thought was, oh, a couple guys got drunk in a parking lot. And,
right,
and
something
then
like that.
You wake up the next day and you see the headlines and you see the videos. It's just I got nothing. I really don't. I don't know, man. I mean, it's concerts, it's nightclubs, it's movie theaters. It's, where's it's schools. Is there anywhere safe anymore?
Yeah, and it was, seeing all the Pray for Vegas stuff. It just instantly reminded me of the stuff for Orlando, and like when is that going to stop?
Yeah.
Like, how many different cities is it going to be 5 years from now? And it's a scary thought. Makes you definitely, like, you got to be cautious, and you shouldn't be like these people are just enjoying music.
Yeah.
It's terrible, and I go to a lot of music festivals too, so oh man, it's scary and it sucks, and there's not much you can say. Like, I feel terrible for everyone that's affected. I can't even imagine what kind of nightmare that must be. And the first responders and like what they would have to look at. It's just, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But we got a show to do. There's really no way to transition into these things, and I hate that I have to keep saying that. Like, it's I look forward to the year where we don't have to say that, and we can just immediately come in hype and ready to talk about dumb video games and movies that we obsess over, and that's what we're going to try to do. So
I was really just in a way I was thinking earlier of, like, I was kind of planning a whole big thing about, having at least finding a little bit of humor and levity in Hugh Hefner passing, and that being the big thing. Like, that was where I was, and then we lose Tom Petty and Monty Hall, and you see all these, we have a rash of celebrity deaths, and you can look back on that and reminisce and even have a little bit of fun with them in maybe what some people think is a macabre way, but there's lives and careers and things you can talk about, and then something like this, and you just, I mean, it's like when at the end of 2016 we all agreed that 2016 really sucked. Yeah. And it was like 2016 just stood there and said, I've been a shitty year to everybody. And 2017 came along and we all looked at it and said, this is going to be better. And it looked at 2016 and just said, hold my beer.
Right.
Like, that's where we are now. And I mean, just what the
Yeah, and I think one important thing to keep in mind is there are way more good people than there are evil.
Agreed.
Yeah, you like, of course, I think me, like everyone else, we there was a point where I needed to watch the news. I needed to see what was happening. And then, of course, there was a point where I didn't want to see any of it because the negativity. But when I was watching it, it was the first responders. It was everyone there, the police officers, the fire department, everyone there that were there for good definitely outweighed the bad. And in the coming months, it's not going to seem like it immediately. But all the people that lined up to give blood, there is way more good people out there than there are evil. And I think that you have to keep that in mind when something this just something so evil happens, with no explanation, no nothing. It just happens, and you got to remember that there are way more good people out there. And don't be afraid to say hi to somebody, and don't be afraid to be kind. Don't change who you are because of something like this. Just got to be careful. But yeah. So yep. I mean, I don't know. There's really not much else to say. Figure we just transition. We'll talk about dumb movies and video games and crazy stuff that we enjoy. I just downloaded a game called Golf Story.
Is that a good? Because I know, like, we've been talking about that the last couple episodes.
Yeah. Golf Stories where you just it's so weird. We'll talk more about it, I guess, next week. But it's like $15, and it's weird. It's like Mario Golf, like the old Mario Golf games.
Right.
But it's got like a story, and I don't know. It's weird. It's cool. It's what everyone's been talking about. So I've been playing so many weird, dumb games. Like, I think I talked about it before, the Divinity Original Sin 2. Have I talked about that yet?
I I I, I don't think you've talked about it.
Okay.
Maybe a little, but
Divinity Original Sin is a PC RPG game. It is, kind of top down, kind of looks like Diablo. Um, think it is as paper and pen RPG as you can get. It is one of the best RPG games I have ever played. I play an undead character. So when you pick your characters, you can create a character or you can pick a origin character. The origin character has their own story and their own past, and they bring up different options in the game for when you communicate with people. So I play an undead character, right? And with an undead character, you don't take potions like every other race in the game. You actually have to find poison to heal you.
of
Or
course, yeah.
or use poison as a part of your, like, I picked specifically poison as one of my moves because it throws poison on the ground. I can stand it and heal. Other players or even my team will end up being poisoned if they do the same. The elves in this game are cannibals, and they eat other people's. They eat other people to take in their memory. So that's a thing. There's a cat that you find at the beginning of the game. Oh, one of my perks that I picked up was that I could talk to animals. So I got a cat friend who's confused, but he's now following me around. There are a million little things like that are so unique and so obscure that you don't see in other games. I have a dragon companion who was the prince of a far-off nation, and he makes sure that I call him my lord and everything else. There's so many weird little tiny things in this game. Another cool aspect of it, I've been playing it with the Talking Games people, Hugh specifically from it. It's a multiplayer game. You can play the whole game multiplayer, and it's like 80 hours plus. And then you can go back and replay all the different origin characters. Could get a different, there's all these little things you can do in the game. One cool thing is there is a dungeon master mode.
Okay.
Where you literally create your own Dungeons and Dragon game. You put monsters in it, different settings, caves. You build the playthrough, and you can play as Dungeon Master, and then four of your friends, you play through a Dungeons and Dragon paper and pencil game, where they basically roll the dice. If they say their characters are going to hit them with a certain whatever, and it's like that. So it's a cool way that you and your friends can play Dungeons and Dragons in a game while not being in the same room, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. It is so cool. Again, Divinity Original Sin 2. That's what I've been playing a lot of. And of course Destiny 2. Shit ton of Destiny 2. So what have you been up to, dude?
I got my movie pass card. So I have been glued to the theater. Like, I've been there every day this week.
I saw that.
Yeah, I went 4 in a row, and then just after work the next few days, I was just wiped. I was just done. I want to go tonight and see American Made because I haven't seen it yet. But
okay.
That and Flatliners are, I think, like the only two out that I want to see that I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw what the hell did I see? I saw It, which was fucking awesome. I saw Kingsman, which was also awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Logan Lucky, which don't sleep on this movie. It's a surprisingly good movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's really good. It's Redneck Ocean's 11. There's even a line in the movie at one point they call it Ocean's 7-Eleven. And I like, that's, if I could sum this movie up in one anything, that would be it. That's the perfect way to describe it. And And the other thing I saw was Leap, which was the animated thing with Elle Fanning and Matt Wolf. And it was fine. It'll be a good for kids movie, but like if you're a parent going with your kids, you're probably you know a little more about movies, so you're gonna see there's some. I mean, it's got some problems, but for a kids film, but perfectly fine. Take them to it; they'll enjoy it.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I definitely want to see some of those.
yeah,
Did you see what's out right now? Kingsman? Is that good?
Yeah, Kingsman was really good. Kingsman was it's everything you would want it to be as a sequel. You know, they've established how kind of kooky the world they live in is, and they just don't shy away from it. They don't go too nuts. They stay within the bounds of, yeah, we can go a little crazy, but it's good. It's definitely good.
Oh, okay, cool. And I saw that you saw it. You don't have
did.
to talk about it too. We can talk about it later. But you know what I was wondering, real fast, before we take a break.
Shoot.
We've talked about the Universal movies, the Universal monster movies being shared universe. I like the idea of the Jason vs. Freddy. Are they still owned by the same company, do you think?
Oh man, I don't know. Those things have been a rights nightmare. They weren't owned by the same company when that movie was made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, New Line owned one and Paramount owned another or something. Like they were two different companies. And I don't know how the rights work now. I don't know.
Did they tease Halloween, Michael Myers at the end of that?
No.
Or was it Chucky?
They didn't tease anything, I don't think.
I thought they teased one of them.
When spoiler alert for this, Jason walks out of the lake and he's holding Freddy's severed head and Freddy winks. I mean, I think that was kind of the tease of like there really isn't a winner, quote unquote. So
right.
Like I think that might have been it. I think a lot of people were wanting another crossover, but I don't know. Like some of these, I don't know. Like I wouldn't want Mike Myers in this because he's not dynamic. He's not interesting.
What about it? That would be interesting. Pennywise.
Oh man, that would be freaky as shit.
Yeah, I gotta see that, man.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it is. It is seriously creepy. You worry sometimes about, especially like remaking old horror movies. Are they going to work? I mean, I can see why Stephen King gave this his personal seal of approval. Like, it's good. It's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, yeah. I'm oddly in for it for like. I like how it looks like Goonies, like a horror Goonies.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
But we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we will get into some movie news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we're going to jump into some movie news. Real fast, though, before we went to break, we watched a trailer for, what is it? I don't have it up in front of me anymore. It's called The Babysitter, I think?
The Babysitter, yeah. It's a Netflix movie.
Yeah, a Netflix movie comes out, what was the date? I imagine this month, right?
Friday the 13th, yeah.
There we go, yep. Looks like a dumb horror comedy.
Let me just say this simple thing. Horror comedy directed by Mick G. Draw your own conclusions there. I'm gonna watch this and be on the fence of just like I'm gonna watch it because I kind of have to because it looks at least interesting enough to warrant sitting through the first 20 minutes of. But like I just and
it's Netflix. That's what I love about the platform is that I will give a movie a chance, 9 times out of 10. Because it's already on a platform that I already have a subscription to.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and it might be a surprise. It might be a dud. Who knows? So that I love that. I absolutely love that. I want more of this. Yeah. I want every month them being like, oh, here's this crazy movie that we just announced, and here you go.
Right. That's part of what I love about MoviePass. It's like I'm not worried about because I've seen 4 movies in 4 days and. It's already paid for itself for 3 months.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've spent 30 because I did the math earlier. It's like 30 $33, I think, on those 4 movies, and
Yeah.
which translates to 3 months of Movie Pass. So
Right.
instead of paying all that money to go see 4 movies, I paid $10.
And I
Like
bet
that.
you're more than willing to get like a popcorn or a soda than you normally would be.
Oh yeah. Oh
At
hell
least
yeah.
I would be.
Yeah. Like
I
because you have that money to spend.
yep,
Like you don't
yep,
have to decide, and you don't have to like downsize. Like, well, I should just get a small, or should,
right.
I could get a medium, but like I really want a large. Now you don't have to worry about it. And like I imagine in the next couple days I'm gonna go see Flatliners
Hmm.
because I have this card. If I didn't, I wouldn't go see it because I'm really not excited for it.
Isn't that a
But
TV show?
no, it's actually a remake slash sequel of a '90s film.
Oh,
Yeah, had Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon, Oliver Platt, and somebody else. I know I'm missing
oh,
somebody.
it's a movie. See, I thought it was a TV show.
No, it's a movie. So
Mm.
I think it came out in 1990.
Oh wow.
But it's even like because as I'm watching the trailers, I was like, this seems oddly familiar, but I couldn't place it. I just thought, oh, I'm sure I've seen something like this before. But it's actually like a remake that might be a sequel. I don't know. They were a
Hmm.
little vague on that, so I don't know.
You know who I got to meet over the week?
Who?
Jason Aaron.
Oh, he did. That's right. He did a signing down there at a comic
Yeah,
shop, didn't he? Yeah.
yeah, he was totally cool. Got to talk to him for just a minute or two because there was a long line of people waiting to get their stuff signed, and I was able to get him. He signed a few different things for me, totally free too. Like it was totally cool, totally like relaxed. He had a drink in his hand, and we just talked about. I told him I loved. The first thing I read that he did was Wolverine,
Yeah.
and then that got me like, oh, this Jason Aaron guy's cool. Like then Scalped and Southern Bastards and Thor now, and he was there. I don't want to say he was there promoting Marvel Legacy, but he was there the week Marvel Legacy came out, so didn't mention it once. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, hey, get my book. I even think Aaron gave it to people that showed up. But
Nice.
did you by chance read Marvel Legacy?
I didn't. No, I haven't yet.
See, I don't know if I should spoil because basically it's every once in a while, Marvel will release a book right when they're beginning to change everything, and not in a bad way, but like hey, here's a new chapter. You know what I mean? Here's the new chapter in the Marvel universe.
Right.
We're setting up things for the next 2 or 3 years. It seems like, or maybe a year. Who knows? And you get uh, a brief glimpse into the future of what the characters are doing. And I have to say, I am in love with the direction they're going in. They showed, it opens up with, you know, 1 million BC
Oh, with that team. Yeah. Okay.
with that team and Odin, and and then it cuts to Doctor Strange in present day with Iron Fist, and they're like, do you ever have a weird dream where you're a caveman or blah blah blah? And Doctor Strange is like, yeah, all the time, many times. So like, and it's apparently going to play heavily into some of the stuff that's going to happen, the legacy of these characters. Um, Loki is screwing with some weird stuff, and he essentially thinks he's going to be saving the world, but what he's doing is pretty bad. But at the same time, he's like, no, you don't get it. I'm the good guy. I'm saving the planet. So he's in search for something. Shield is kind of over with. Um, Tony Stark's body is missing, so I think he's coming back pretty soon. Um, they dropped a ton of Fantastic Four hints.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, like to the point where like Johnny's like, "Do you think they'll even remember us?" And I liked how Ben was like, "Do they need us? You bet my sweet aunt Patina's ass they need us, Johnny, now more than ever. Who cares what folks don't remember?" And so like they're heavily teasing that, and I don't know because this has been leaked so bad. I don't even know if I should say it, but someone is back, a fan favorite, and they have an Infinity Stone.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Because I like
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know who it is. I'm with you. I'm not gonna say anything either.
Yeah,
Just in case people really want to be surprised. Um,
yeah.
but I don't know. Like I'll see going forward.
I am thrilled reading the comic, and maybe that's what you need to do is
That
like
yeah
sit
that
down with it and it because I've missed this character a lot. And that's a direction I didn't think I would see them doing, and that's why I like it. Um, I love that the whole book feels like to me like a globe-trotting adventure where there's all this weird things that are going to be coming up, and you know, for example, Black Panther has an intergalactic space empire now.
say what?
Yeah, he's in charge. He's got an army of intergalactic soldiers. That's all I'll say. It's gonna be interesting to see how he came upon this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's described as the throne world of intergalactic empire of Wakanda.
Okay,
And
you got
that
it, man.
see, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the direction they're taking a lot of these characters in. Well, he was also a part of the Ultimates, and the Ultimates was all about Galactus, them and Galactus saving the universe.
Right. Yeah.
So he's been kind of going through space and all of that other stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how that came about and how he is now in charge of an intergalactic space empire, which is just so weird. And then like little moments like Deadpool. His whole character now is going to be about redemption because of the atrocities that he did during Secret Empire, killing Coulson and stuff like that. Um, all because he thought in his head Captain America is always going to be the right person to follow. When everything's upside down, he's the guy that always does the right thing. And obviously, he made a grave mistake. And so this book, it's still going to be a little bit of comedy, but more so the serious character of Deadpool and how do you do good now? How do you make good of this? Like, and it just shows him like sitting like on a toilet and he's saying, "Thank you, Father. May I have another? Thank you." Like he's doing his "Father, I have sinned," and they're standing outside of the stall and they shoot him up while he's on the toilet, and he's just sitting there like disappointed in himself. So I don't know. Like there's little things like that in the book that make me interested. It's a great read. It teases what's coming up with Marvel. It's got me excited in Marvel again.
Nice. Well, good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. There's celestial stuff, and I don't know. I'm excited. I can't wait. I know that a lot of the books don't start for like another month or so, which is okay. That's cool. But man, yeah, that was really cool to read. So
Nice. Yeah. Because Secret Empire wound up being kind of a dud.
yeah,
Like it ended in what I thought was such a comic book way, and I mean that in a bad way.
hmm
Of like, they did that, okay.
yeah. You can tell that Nick Spencer had a thing that he wanted to put out there, and it was like this would have been great as like a 4-issue miniseries
Yeah.
that lasted a month or two. That would have been okay, but to stretch it out for as long as they did, and there's books that were coming out before that ended because they pushed it.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah, Marvel has to get their shit together. There's a lot of great Marvel books out there, but it's definitely fallen off from what I've been reading, and so seeing this got me like, okay, I'm gonna start buying a lot of these books that I dropped a while ago. Uh, Black Panther, Intergalactic, like yes, so I'm sold. I will pick that up and see what's going on, and a lot of the other characters, some returning characters that I'm like, yeah, I want to see that. Even Deadpool, I don't read Deadpool, but that arc sounds interesting.
Nice.
If handled correctly, so. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Very
There's
cool.
also a lot of DC stuff out there that's really cool right now, like the Mr. Oz stuff, um, and all of that. Man, I can't wait until Doomsday Clock. Um, But yeah, so I don't know.
Cool.
That was I forgot those were some of the books that I was reading.
Yeah. Nice.
Um,
Yeah, I
well,
remember Jason Aaron he was there a few years ago, I think when his run on Thor started.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I went and God, I had forgotten that he had done Wolverine and the X-Men.
yes,
because I
oh
would have
yeah,
because I would have taken that because I got up there and I handed it to him and he asked me my name and I told him and there was a moment. It was really brief, but like he kind of looked down at the comic of like, okay, this guy named Logan is standing here in front of me asking me to sign a Thor comic. Like
right.
there was a moment. It was just a brief little thing and neither of us said anything, but you could tell there was a moment of like it didn't hit me until later of like, ah, man, that would
Right.
have just been. I'm so missed that opportunity.
Oh yeah. No, he uh fun story. I don't know if you know this or not. But and this is something he talked about was he got his break. Now he doesn't call it his official break. He thinks his official break was with Scalped, and that's what really got him noticed.
Sure.
But he got his break. He was in Alabama, working in a factory, and he submitted a what do you call it? Like an outline for a Wolverine story, and it was as if it was going to be in the what do you call it, the very end of the comic, where you just have a few pages and then it's going to be spread out for like 4 or 6 issues.
Okay. Like
But you know what I'm talking
the
about?
B story kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And he pitched an idea for that, and he won, and he got a chance to go to Marvel and do some freelance stuff for them. uh, he said that wasn't really his break. It was really when he got scalped, and he pitched that book that was turned down a few different times, and then he got it, and then he blew up, and then that's when Marvel was like, okay, we loved your Wolverine thing. Obviously, Scalped is a major hit. How would you like to do Wolverine? I guess, and so he did the Wolverine comic for a while, and then he transitioned into Wolverine and the X-Men. Um, but and that's why I told him, like, he really writes good characters, because
Yeah.
Wolverine can be, anyone can tell a story about Wolverine sitting in a bar or fighting Sabretooth in the woods,
Sure.
but he did a really good job at breaking down his character.
Yeah.
And his story about Wolverine that he said he pitched was not him fighting. It was him in the woods talking to a girl he loved, and it wasn't Jean Grey or anything like that, and talking about religion and where he stands on what he believes in, and that kind of stuff, which is totally left field for Wolverine. And I thought that was interesting. But yeah, so I thought that was cool. Like, so yeah, he's a really cool dude. Like, he's super sweet, super down to earth. Was super nice, and of course, shout out to Aaron. He was super cool too. Like, I think they had pizza for everybody, and it was a really good time. There was a lot of people there.
Nice. Yeah, I'll bet.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like that he does stuff like that and doesn't charge anybody. And I'm pretty sure he was handing out some of those comics so Jason could sign them for people, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
I wish more shops would do that, because they'd be way more successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron's always been good with stuff like that because he had him. He had Rob Venditti that I can remember. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
There were a handful just when I was there, and there have been, God, I don't even know how many since. But it's yeah,
Yeah.
those are always a good time for sure.
Oh yeah, and we're pretty lucky being in Orlando, because of course like a lot of them come here for vacation with their families, and I think that's honestly what Jason did. I think he was here with just hanging out, maybe with his family or whatever at Disney, and he just stayed. One night was like, all right, let's go sign books. That's what it seemed like, because Aaron's like, I'm gonna on Facebook. He's like, I gotta go pick up Jason from Disney or whatever. So I thought that was cool. So yeah, man, it was great. Some really good comics out there right now, like, and coming up, like, there's definitely reason to be excited for DC with all the stuff, and then Marvel to me seems like they might be turning the ship around. I just wish they'd get off their shit with the Fantastic Four and Fox, and I don't know what needs to happen. I don't know how high up. Apparently that goes really high up with their mandates.
Yeah.
They need to, like, just full stop and go, look, we're putting them back in the comics. We're gonna make these fans happy. Real fast, did you happen to see the Gifted show?
Did it air already?
It did, and it's gotten a lot of praise.
Good. At least that has, because I've heard the Inhumans did not.
Yes, yes. They basically, The Gifted, from IO9, they said The Gifted isn't trying to be X-Men TV series, and that's what makes it good.
Excellent.
And
I
oh
like
yeah,
that.
and my friends, some of my nerdy friends, they're all over Facebook saying like, "Oh my God, I'm in, I'm sold. This is great." Yeah, unlike the Inhumans, where it's like laughingly bad, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could kind of see that from the trailers. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just
it
did
does.
not look like it was gonna work.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't even really work in the comics. So it's just a cheap imitation of the X-Men, and
Yeah.
it's time that Marvel admits that and lets them be still there, unique, but not try so hard to be X-Men.
Right. Find somebody. There has got to be somebody out there who can write a really like a revolutionary Inhuman story. There's got to be somebody.
I hear that the Karnak story is the best.
Yeah.
It's just called Karnak. I don't know who writes it. I'll tell you once we get back from the break.
Yeah.
From what I understand, every time I walk in the shop and I ask the guy like what's like, he always tries to convince me to get this Karnak book. I haven't gotten it yet, but that's apparently like really, really good. Maybe I'll just get it for the show and talk about it.
Nice.
But I guess Karnak's thing was like he can think of anything. Like any situation, he can think of it, like how to get out of it or whatever.
Okay.
But okay, anyway, we got to take a quick break. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And on the break, I looked it up. It was the Karnak comic from 2015, written by Warren Ellis, art by David Aja. So obviously two giants in the industry.
Yeah, right.
Now it makes a lot of sense why he's pushing that. Karnak's ability is, his curse is that he can see the flaw in anything and all things. And so that's like his gimmick. Systems, philosophies, structures, people, everything. And it says in the book, never forgetting who I am Karnak of the Inhumans. You may not know who Karnak is now, but you will when Orin will. So, like, yeah, it's an interesting idea. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll just go get that. I'll read it and I'll talk about it on the show to see if it's any good, and then we can have that one Inhumans book,
right?
we can point to and go, see, there you go, something that's unique and not trying to be over the X-Men. It was so bad because they were literally killing X-Men. Like it's like. It's not just fanboys going, they're replacing the X-Men, they're trying to push it on us. It's like you're literally writing them to kill off the X-Men with their their gas or whatever. That was terrible. But let's get into the movie news. You go ahead and take it off the top here.
Yeah, man, because the Akira movie just keeps on trying to be made somewhere. And now they're talking about Taika Waititi directing it, which is I'm in. Him. I'm sold. I'll do it. Yeah, sign me up. I'll be there.
I love him. Yeah, he's great. I can't wait to see his Thor movie.
I'm excited for it. The more I keep seeing, the more I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm really interested in this.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What was his movie? It's ironically my favorite movie of his. I can't think of the name of it. It's What Lies in the Shadows. Or
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows. Go see that film.
So good. I
don't know if it's on Netflix or Hulu or what, but make sure you go watch that movie.
It's streaming somewhere. I think it's Amazon. I think it's on Amazon Prime Video.
There you go.
I think. I know it's streaming on something. I know it is.
Yeah, it is hilarious. It is. If you like The Office and if you like, it's about like vampires. It's basically like The Office setup, but like, hey, let's follow this guy who's a vampire in New Zealand, and he's trying to be cool and hip and with everything. So I thought it was great. It's hilarious. Aren't they going to make a second one? Or one about the werewolves?
Yeah, he's doing a spinoff called We're Wolves, which I thought was funny as hell. Yes. But it's with all these other projects that he's got
Right.
either rumored for or that he's working on or been working on. Like this is one that he knows he can come back to at some point, and
Yeah.
people say, "Oh yeah, cool," because it's not a direct sequel. It's its own deal,
Hmm.
spun off. Like it's so no, there's no real pressure for him to get that done, which
Oh
is
yeah.
which is fine. I'll wait. Like it'll be worth it.
Absolutely, absolutely. They had the trailer for the first. They had the first trailer for Tomb Raider to come out. What did you think of it?
It looks exactly like the rebooted game. Like I mean
It
the
does, and it looks bad. I think.
I look, I don't care what anybody says. I may be in the minority here. I didn't like the last ones they did. I didn't like the Angelina Jolie movies. They're not good movies. They're
No, I
they're
agree.
they're fine like actiony movies for like what were they, early 2000s, mid 2000s, whatever they were. I mean,
Yeah,
they're fine in that context, but they're not good movies. So
yeah.
my bar for this is not tremendously high.
Right, right. Well, with Movie Pass, we know we'll go see it, but
Oh yeah, oh hell yeah.
it, it just it. And I was like, oh no, maybe it's just because there was no context. It seemed like her struggling the
It
whole
was
trailer.
it was a bad trailer.
Yeah,
It was a bad trailer.
definitely. We officially got a announcement for It Chapter 2. The sequel is September 6th, 2019 release date.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm stoked.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I'm definitely seeing the first one in the theater. If I go this week, it's probably yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Is I'll go this week.
Go.
I have a few
It's
days off.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's
Yeah.
absolutely worth it.
Oh yeah. Um, Sonic the Hedgehog. Paramount to develop feature film. Jeff Fowler to direct.
Yeah, it was at Sony for a while, and then it went into turnaround, and Paramount picked it up. So
That's right. It was gonna be like a live action
it's
somehow.
it's still
Sonic.
gonna be a live action CG hybrid. Yeah, they're still.
Why? Just make a CGI film. That
I
doesn't make sense.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Bro, like I would actually watch like a really cool CGI Sonic Netflix movie or something, or animation or whatever. Live action doesn't make any sense.
I guess maybe it'll. I don't know. Maybe it's a marketing thing. Maybe they can market a live action hybrid film. Like, because I'm just looking at this, and all I can keep thinking is Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yes, exactly. Or like Detective Pikachu. What the fuck?
right.
What the fuck?
When I hear live action CG hybrid, that's the kind of thing I think of, and I'm like, oh yeah, and those movies usually really suck.
That's terrible.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
Men in Black spinoff gets May 15, 2019 release date. Will be written by Matt Holloway from Iron Man and Art Markham. Transformers: The Last Night.
Yeah,
Um,
and now this is not like the Jump Street crossover or anything else. Like this is a totally different Men in Black spinoff.
who's it gonna like? Who's it gonna be about?
They haven't said it won't be. It won't be Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay. So a movie set in that universe. All right.
Right. It's gonna be. I imagine it's just gonna be like different Men in Black. Really. Like
Right.
it's literally just gonna be different agents.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, whatever. I mean, I could see them doing like I don't know, Seth Rogen or something. Who knows? Let's see here. Go ahead and take the next one real fast. Got Game
Yeah,
of Thrones.
in the continued tradition of it worked so well before, let's do it again. They're doing another Charlie's Angels reboot. This time they want Kristen Stewart and Lupita Nyong'o to star in it. It's going to be directed by Elizabeth Banks, though, so that's a plus.
Oh yeah.
So a spark of, hey, this might not be terrible.
Right. Right. Exactly.
On Script Notes, one of the hosts, John August, was the screenwriter on both of the movies, on Charlie's Angels and on Full Throttle. Oh, and he'll tell the story, and he's told the stories a couple times of just how like they loved the script, and then there was a nightmare with production for the first one, and they came back for the second one and said, okay, here are all the things that make a sequel to a movie like this bad. And they made a list, and they said, these are all the things we're not going to do. And one by one, they checked them off as they were made to do them. So
Oh wow.
it was from it was one of those things where where the studios just fucked everything up, and they were like everybody involved was trying to bail this thing out, and it was just not gonna work. But
well, that sucks.
They had to do it anyway. It's yeah, but I don't know. Like now, I don't know. I think now they could do it, and I'm all right with this. I'm good with this casting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got some Terminator news.
Yeah, Sarah Connor will be back. The original Sarah Connor.
Yeah, is it okay? So, I guess it's gonna ignore Genesis.
Yeah, that's what they said. Like, they're just gonna pretend like that movie didn't happen, which is fine.
Was that the last one?
Yeah, it was the one where, oh hell, help me here. Emilia Clarke played Sarah Connor.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
where it was like where John turned into Skynet or some bizarre shit. Like it was fucked up.
Oh yeah. Your favorite franchise has some news coming out.
Okay, I want to talk about this for a second because I'm gonna make a prediction, and how much time do we have so I can do the math? I got time.
8. Yeah, 8.
Okay, so they have officially started production on the 4 Avatar sequels that they're going to shoot continuously. They're going to shoot 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. The combined production budget is $1 billion. Yeah, that's not including the marketing. So I worked on this the other day, and I figure that by the end of it, they're going to spend, and this is a very conservative figure, 1.6 billion total. Because I figured we'll throw 600 million in for marketing, which is low, which I genuinely think is very low. But it makes a nice even number for saying each movie costs in total $400 million, production and marketing. And I went through the math on how much the second one might do, and the law of diminishing returns on 3, 4, and if they even get to 5. I imagine, and we'll find out in like what 6, 7 years when the last one finally comes out.
Right.
I think that Fox loses $400 million on this venture. I genuinely do. I will put this. I want this put in stone. I think that they take a loss of at least $350 million. That is my official prediction. I think they lose just over a third of $1 billion on this put together, because the sequel is going to do okay, but it's not. Here's the thing: if you put out Avatar now, it would not make $2 billion, because we already had the thing that made it was the 3D. Because you go back and watch it without it, or you rewatch it, and you realize it's like it's not a terrible movie, but it's not fucking $2 billion worldwide movie. Right. It's the technology. Avatar 2 is going to do the numbers that Avatar would have done if you had put it out now. And something else, say like the Avengers had established 3D or something. So now we live in this world where there's still 3D and IMAX and all that shit. Avatar 2 is going to do decent. And I think at a $400 million total budget, I think Fox makes a little money on it. 50, 60 million maybe. But it goes downhill from there. I think they lose successively more for each film. And I'm talking 90, 100, 150. I think they take at least a $350 million loss on this. Because I think they're way overestimating this. Unless Avatar 2 is an amazing movie, and people go out and see it, and they go, holy shit, we all have to go see it again, and that hypes them up for Avatar 3, then maybe Fox makes a profit on this. Maybe. But I don't see it. I don't see it. I think Avatar 2 is the same kind of movie. I think it's an movie. I don't think it's going to be extraordinary. I think people are going to go, it was fine. It's going to win its weekend. It's going to make money, but it's not going to make, just ridiculous bank. Whenever it comes out, I don't even think it's going to be the highest grossing film that year. And I think it's 2019? Right. 2018, 2019, whatever it is. I don't think it's the highest grossing film that year. I think Fox gets fucking terrified because it doesn't do blockbuster numbers, and I don't even know, depending on how much production on Avatar 5 is done, I don't even know if they finish it.
Wow.
That's what I think. I think that this winds up being a disaster unless Avatar 2 is amazing. And I mean, it's got to be a damn good movie. But otherwise, I think this scares Fox possibly into cutting their deal short. If it's that bad, I don't think they make 5. And if they're at a point where they can't not, like if it's, principal photography is done and they're wrapping up post-production or whatever, they're at a point where they've put too much into it to try not to salvage something out of it. If they do all 4 of the sequels, I bet that they lose at least $350 million. At least.
Damn, bold prediction.
I'm sticking to it. I want to be wrong. Listen, I want to be wrong because this all hinges on these not being great movies.
Right.
Because I just don't think they're gonna be. But if I want to be wrong. I want these to be amazing. Just for the sake of good movies. But I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't either. Yep, no, I agree. I want it to be great. Doubt it. Doubt it will. All right, let's see here, because, man.
And in related news,
there's always the Disney land you can go to.
True, very true.
Avatar World, which looks cool, but yeah, I don't know. I think I don't like that method of shooting that many films together at one time. They don't even do that with Star Wars.
No.
No. There are breaks in between. There's completely different films. They know that, like, hey, the climate of the world might change in 6 months.
Right.
Not well, it will literally, but you know what I mean? Like, the people are not going to be into the same things.
Exactly. Like, you're going to have to adjust. You can't say, okay, I'm going to make this movie with this tone, and it's going to come out in 4 years, and that's going to be fine because that's what people want now. That may have been true 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's damn sure not true today.
Well, look at Warner Brothers, what they're doing with their DC universe. They are doing a hard turn. They're going, wait a second, we got to steer this ship out of the out of Zack Snyder Bay, and we got to get this back on course.
They're changing shit before they finished filming it. That's how fast these things are changing. So you can't. It's one thing to work on a movie, to have a project and be like, okay, this is going to be this, and then it comes out whenever, something like Cabin in the Woods, where it's made and then it takes an extra 2 years or however the hell long that took to finally get released. Like that's one thing. But something like this, no, this is bad. This is just a bad plan because it's not going to do the numbers they want. It's just not.
Speaking of bad plans, what was James Cameron thinking?
I don't fucking know, because he started off with something that resembled a coherent point, even if he was wrong, in the idea of, well, it was taken out of context because blah, 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 and everybody went, okay, so you're justifying that you're an asshole. And then he basically said, in so many words, the problem was that Gal Gadot was already beautiful from the start. And what fucking mindset do you have to think that that's a problem? I mean, just, putting that aside, as an aesthetics thing, who cares? Like, why is that an issue? Like, she wasn't homely and then became a beautiful badass? That she started as a beautiful badass and just, she knew who she was in that film, and it wasn't an arc of like, I must now grow into being a beautiful butterfly. It was, no, I am a beautiful butterfly. I just have to find where in this world I fit or what I can do. Like, it wasn't
Did he have the same complaints with Thor?
I don't know if he ever saw Thor.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
No, totally. That's the thing. Like, this only happens with female-led movies. And it's bullshit.
Yep.
Uh,
We got to take a quick break.
Yeah.
When we get back, we got a little bit more movie and TV news and video games to talk about. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and one more piece of movie news here. Disney is developing a TV movie to remake the 1993 film Hocus Pocus.
Well, because they've been kicking around this idea forever. And I'm good with this being like a Disney Channel TV movie. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that this would work so well as a big budget movie anymore. I'm good with this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I'm totally cool with that. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, just moving to some TV news. Watchmen, HBO officially orders the pilot.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's kind of a duh piece of news, but, it was news, so we newsed it.
Yep, absolutely. We got some more TV news. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina show is set in Riverdale universe to be a horror series.
Yes, we're going to get a dark Sabrina show, which is, I love it, because the comic was amazing.
Yes, I'm loving the shared universes on the CW.
Yeah, they're like, well, we've got one. How we've had first shared universe. How about second shared universe?
Yes, absolutely. It's working. They got super high numbers.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So hell yeah. Let's see here. What else we got? The Nice Guys movie getting a TV series reboot, and the show to be female led, entitled The Nice Girls.
Yeah, and it's going to be set. I think it's supposed to be set more contemporary, because I know The Nice Guys was 70s kind of.
Gotcha. I never saw it.
Yeah, I wanted to, but it was was one of I would have gone and seen it now because I've got Movie Pass.
Wait, so The Nice Guys, was that the one with Will Ferrell?
No, that was the other guy.
The other guy. What was The Nice Guys?
The Nice Guys was Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, I think.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was what? I think it was just last year, I think.
It was a car accident? Yeah, I think I saw that one.
Yeah.
Kung Fu, sequel to classic series, being developed by Greg Berlanti, and will be followed female Buddhist monk named Lucy Chang.
Yeah, so it's going to be set in the 50s, because the original one was actually set in the 1880s, because it was more old Western kind. You remember Kane? I am Kane. I seek water. Like, that was, David Carradine being very David Carradine. But
oh yeah.
So, I'm good with this. I know people are going to be all upset because, oh my God, they're putting women at the front of everything. And? What's your fucking point? I don't like having that argument anymore because it's just stupid.
It really is.
Just make a good show. I don't care. I don't care if I don't care if Detective Pikachu, as long as it's good. Just put whatever at the front and make a good thing. That's all I give a damn about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's get into some video games. Let me ask you. We're both playing Destiny 2. What faction did you join?
What did I join? Dead Orbit.
Yep. But they were the winners, by the way. So you should get some.
Sweet. Yeah, I gotta go get that scout
cool
rifle.
Gear. You gotta join our guild or clan or whatever. You're missing out on a lot of loot.
I know. I haven't been playing a lot the last handful of days, so I haven't really been into it. And when I have been, I've been trying to do the other two characters, because it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that I could platinum this.
Yeah, I am 2 trophies away from platinuming it.
Yeah.
I have to finish the raid. We did the entire raid except for the end. We gotta nail it. And the Prestige Nightfall. Those are the only 2 that I don't have.
Yeah, because the one is now the one about the being is what, just went around in the Trials of the Nine, right?
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's definitely reachable. The reason why I said join the guild is because, for example, anytime a guild member does the Trial of the Nines, And, like, for example, there's always someone in our guild that goes flawless. Like, it seems like every week now, you get a Trials weapon sent to you. Level 10 of the weapon, and then you, of course, infuse stuff into it.
Right.
But it's awesome gear. It's awesome weapons. Same with the raid. Someone beats the raid, and because you're in the clan, you get a raid weapon or raid gear. So, like, there are perks to being in this thing. You get bonuses. The more the guild does, the more the clan does, you get weekly buffs. You get more XP, you get more this, you get more that, more chances it drops, and all this other stuff. So you don't have to do anything except for join, and then just kind of play the game. That's it. You don't have to do anything else with the guild. So I would highly recommend it. I'm leveling up my. I got my my warlock. My hunter's all the way up now to like 295. My warlock is up now. Now I got to run the titan up.
Nice.
Yeah, because there's so many opportunities to do more stuff when you have all those characters higher levels from completing everything. So I don't know. I'm addicted to that game. Crazy into it. But yeah, Dead Orbit got it, which I'm pretty glad because that's what my hunter is. My warlock is the future war cult, and oh man, it's been fun. I got the whole set. Yeah, my buddy did the future war cult on his Titan, which looks like the Mach 1. It literally looks like the Mach 1 Iron Man.
Okay.
And on his other character, he has the New Monarchy. So he put the New Monarchy red and gold shaders on his Dead Orbit outfit, and he is straight up Iron Man.
That's fantastic.
It's the best combination I've ever seen.
That's phenomenal.
Really cool. Oh yeah. Destiny 2 just keeps it, because there's apparently some big special thing this week as well. Winners Week it's called, for the Dead Orbit, and I don't know what we do or whatever, but
right. Well, because I know like the scout, like we get the scout rifle at a discount.
Yes,
it's like 5,000 glitter or something, as opposed
like
to
one. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I forget whatever it was, but.
Instead of 50,000,
right?
If you want to get the other one, other groups. But yeah, no, it's been a fun game. I'm waiting for like Iron Banner to come back, and yeah, do Trials as much as you can, because there's some really cool content in Trials that you don't see in the rest of the game. Like you're first of all sent to a place that's just so far beyond our universe, and it's like white sandy planet. And it's a bunch of weird shit on it.
Nice.
And it starts to get into the lore of the Nine and who they are. And apparently Xur is like someone that digs through their trash and gives us their trash.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So his character's kind of interesting, but it really dives into that part of the lore of what Trials of the Nine are and stuff like that, and how the Nine are like, they see us as nothing, and then of course you do the Trials and you get all the way up the tower to the 7th thing, and you go flawless, and then they're like, okay, you're worthy of us even paying attention to you right now. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, let's get into the video game news. Sorry, I can go on and on about that. I'll let you take the first one here.
Yeah. So after practically a fucking year, there's finally been a deal reached over the voice actor strike. I don't have all the details here in front of me, but they've finally come to terms on a lot of the stuff they were looking for, especially when it comes to like residuals, because there was a strange the way that video game voice actors were compensated was strange. When you look at especially the way like writers and producers and directors and film and TV actors were getting paid, it was not structured the same way. And that was part of the problem. There was the idea of all the stress for voice actors for their vocal cords, because who was it that was talking? It was something on I Know That Voice, and I forget who it was that was talking about. They do a lot of voice acting for video games, and they were saying I see the words blood curdling scream at least a dozen times a day. So,
Right.
go ahead, do that a dozen times and tell me your throat isn't killing you. And then imagine
Right.
having to do that every day.
Yeah.
So but they finally came to terms with that. So we'll start having union employees back on certain projects. So it's about time. I mean, the fact that this went on for a year is just insane.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. And there were some studios that had made like side deals with the Actors Guild to say, yeah, we can't all come to the table, but some of us can and work things out. So it wasn't affecting like a giant number. It wasn't like if the Actors Guild had gone on strike, or the Writers Guild,
Right.
because so many other studios were like, yeah, we get it, your collective bargaining agreement sucks, but we want to work with you because we really like working with you. So I don't know, it's been a whole strange situation, but it's finally looking like it's worked out, and probably just in time for the next round of contract negotiations, really. So
Yeah.
it's a never-ending thing, but
It seems like it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I heard they now got some cool things. I heard there was a lot they didn't get, because I guess some of it was they just they couldn't reach an agreement on. But one of the things I thought was strange, they would go in blind.
yeah,
And not be told. Now the sequel thing, that was the one thing that caught me.
yeah.
Um,
It's different than actors auditioning for roles and then they're not told until they get it, of like, oh, you're actually, the new companion in Doctor Who. Like, that's
yeah.
because then, you've auditioned for it and you've got it, and now you go do the work knowing who you are. They were being
Yep.
brought in to do the work
Right.
without being aware of what they were working on sometimes. Yeah,
Yep. Now
it's
they have to at least be told that it's a sequel to a game.
right. It's
Um.
so weird.
Oh yeah. We got some great PS Plus games
I
this month.
this month was great. I actually did some trade-ins last week, and I was looking at MGS5, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna play it. And I swear to God, the next freaking day, Sony's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, guess what's gonna be free for Plus? It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. It's a great game. It was a little long for me. I didn't play that much of it. I don't know. It's fun. If you like Metal Gear, I think you're gonna like it. If you like open world tactical shooters, you're gonna like it. It's weird. It's quirky. It's Metal Gear, of course.
Yeah.
Um, uh, some other cool games was the Amnesia Connection, of course, because October.
Mm-hmm.
Monster Jam Battlegrounds. A lot of people were saying was pretty interesting. Uh, Speaking of, have you played any of the Fortnite Battle Royale?
I haven't. Is it?
It's free. Go
Is it?
download it.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Listeners, go download Fortnite. It's a free game. You can't play the Fortnite part of it, where it's like a what do you call it? It's a horde mode. That comes out next year. It's if you can pay a price to play it now, but you don't really need to. People are downloading Fortnite right now because of Battle Royale, which is their version of Battlegrounds, the
Yeah.
PC game.
Yeah. We talked about that on the last episode.
Yes, absolutely. And it's like the more I played it, the more I'm more comfortable now moving around the weapons, and it actually makes me really worried about how they're going to do Battlegrounds, because with Battlegrounds there's attachments and there's just a crazy amount of items, where there's not. It's like there are 3 or 4 different levels of weapons, but there's no attachments. You got the shotgun, you got the shotgun, you got the rocket launcher, you got the rocket launcher. You just equipped it and shoot. The ammo drops with it, so like you're not putting the ammo in the gun kind of deal like you are with Battlegrounds. So it definitely made me go, oh shit, how are they gonna do that on console? So, but if you don't have a PC and you don't have an Xbox, go download it. It is an entry into kind of what that system's like, and I can't wait for other companies to follow along. But yeah, I don't know, Monster Jam Battlegrounds, which I guess is a monster truck game.
I guess, yeah. I know it's
Yeah.
PS3 only.
Yep. Hustle Kings PS3, Hue PS Vita and PS4, Skyforce, anniversary for Vita, PS4, and PS3.
Yeah, it's a good list, if not just for Metal Gear by itself. Like
Yes.
that sells
Oh
it
yeah.
anyway, especially after last month's kind of disappointing double dip with
Right.
Infamous.
And I think like Xbox's this month was Gone Home, which is a great game, but it's not a
AAA title.
Well, it's not. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. It's not even just that it's not a AAA title. It's a game you can beat in an hour.
Yeah,
If that. Like it's a walking simulator. It's something that I think everyone should play. It's great, but that's like a $2 game to me, or $5, I guess. That it's just when you're going up against something like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
It looks bad. Like, I want Microsoft to have better games on that thing, just like I want PlayStation to have. Sometimes some months we get crap too, so it's a give or take. But yeah, it's a great month if you're a PlayStation fan.
Yeah, right.
Did you see the trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2?
I did. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, looked awesome. It looked like Red Dead, and I can't wait to play it. We still don't know when it's coming out, right? It's coming out like next year.
Yeah, I don't think we have a firm release date. I don't think.
Yeah, you go ahead and take the next one here.
Yeah, hang on, where the hell are we? Oh yeah, because okay, so Andrew House, who we see at all the PSX and everything, is stepping down as CEO from some part of PlayStation. I didn't see exactly what his official title is that he's giving up, but I know it's CEO of some piece of Sony. Effective.
I think the PlayStation division.
Is it the PlayStation division entirely?
Yeah.
Because he's going to be replaced by John Tsuyoshi Kodera, effective immediately. But House is going to stay in the position for a year for a transitionary position, because with companies like that, they do that, I guess. And then he's going to stay on as director and chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment. So I'm glad he's going to be involved. He's always kind of fun. If anybody doesn't recognize him, that doesn't recognize the name, but watches like the E3 and stuff, he's the British guy. He's the one that he's the slimmer guy, stands there, and he's very. There's a properness to his delivery, but you can tell he's excited. You can tell he genuinely likes where he is and what he does. So,
absolutely.
I'm glad he's going to stay a part of it. But shakeups happen from time to time. It's not the end of the world. Things will carry on.
Yeah, it happens at all companies.
Yeah.
But we are gonna take a quick break. Then we're gonna get into some other smaller news, and then we're gonna talk about some games that are coming out that we're excited for, and some of the movies that Logan saw. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and I'll let you take this bit of news here.
Yeah, this was something I thought was cool. They're doing, because of the success of the Percy Jackson series and the spin-offs and sequels and everything that's been done, the books, not the movies. We don't talk about the movies. Disney has worked with Rick Riordan to establish his own imprint. And it's interesting. It's called Rick Riordan Presents, and it's this idea of how many people say, hey, I really like these books, I like the style, I like the setup, but can we get something other than basically, white people myths?
Right.
And he and Disney have created this imprint for exactly that purpose, because there's so much other great mythology out there, not just current day religions like Shinto and Hinduism and Buddhism, but older cultural mythologies like everything with the Aztecs and Native Americans, and just so much that's untapped that would make really interesting settings for stories like this. And the first one is called Aru Shah and the End of Time, and it's written by a woman named Roshani Chokshi, who wrote The Star-Touched Queen. It was a New York Times bestseller here a little ways back. It had a sequel that also charted. And it's interesting. They've described it. It's gonna be centered in Hindu stories, and it's been described as Percy Jackson meets Sailor Moon, and I'm in just on that by itself. Like, you don't even
Oh, yeah.
have to tell me anything at all else. Like, I'm good right there. But it's gonna come out. The press release said March, but the website says April. So at some point next spring, late March, early April, we're gonna have the first one of these, and I'm excited. It's one of the strangest times where you can actually say, yes, I like young adult fantasy novels, because you have to say novels at the end of it, otherwise you wind up on a dozen different watch lists for good reason. But
Right.
but
Yeah.
that's my jam. Those are always my favorite kind of books, because I think they're really good stories. So I'm excited. This is going to be great. This kind of story from a totally different cultural viewpoint, from a female perspective. I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll check that out. Put it on my list here.
Oh, and his new one actually just came out. We're recording the third today. The last one in the Magnus Chase series.
A word?
So that's cool. God, I can't wait to get too much to do today.
Right, way too much to do. Oh yeah, that's me tomorrow, man. There's just so much I gotta do. Speaking from a certain point of view, did you see the Star Wars book came out from a certain point of view?
Oh, was that? Yeah, that was this week too. Shit. God.
That was this week, yeah. And I downloaded the audiobook because John Hamm plays Boba Fett.
Okay.
Which is awesome.
I'm in. Done. So you just sold it. Like, that's it.
Yeah, so apparently they got a lot of voice actors for each and every chapters, which is just sounds amazing. Like, I want to listen, and like I reading's great, and I'm probably gonna read it too. But man, the audiobook of hearing these different stories play out, and hopefully maybe that's a teaser to come, because I would love a John Hamm Boba Fett movie. That would be awesome.
Well, and that's a great way to do an audiobook. Anthologies make really great audiobooks because you're just hearing somebody sit and tell a story for an hour, maybe two, and then you move on to the next one. That's old, like, campfire folk kind of storytelling. I dig that.
Speaking of that, pivot to, you're a fan of Max Landis?
Yes. Oh, did he do something else? What did he do
Okay.
now?
Well, first of all, if you're listening, go watch the Game Over Greggy Kind of Funny Stuff this week. It's their 200th episode, and their most wanted guest was Max Landis. He's such a nice guy. Like, I had no idea when he went to the Kind of Funny Live. He had no idea what it was, and he was like, I went to a music festival for nerds. That's what he said it felt like. Afterwards,
that's not a bad description.
Oh, yeah, and afterwards, when Greg invited everyone to come to his favorite wing spot in San Francisco, Max Landis saw, like, 400 nerds lined up outside trying to figure out, like, well, am I going to order 10 wings? I paid a lot of money to come here. It's a really expensive city. Apparently, and, like, Max Landis didn't want anyone to know, he just bought everyone's food that night.
Holy shit.
And didn't tell, like, he didn't want Greg to tell anybody, and Greg spilled the beans on the show. He's like, yeah, when we pay, like, when you got wings that night, 10 wings a person or whatever, it was all paid for by Max Landis. And he was like, oh man, everyone was having a great time, and I didn't want everyone to like stand in line and like think about what they're gonna order. They just come up, grab their wings, and go and hang out and talk to you and everyone else. I thought that was so cool.
That's awesome, man. Hell yeah.
He blends the line of being in the business and being a fan.
Yeah.
So well, like, and he's so down to earth. Like, he spends a whole segment talking about doing acid at Big Bear with his friends and a bunch of crazy stuff. And at the same time, he'll sit there and talk about how he's the showrunner for Dierks Gently, and his another project that he has called that's what I was getting to, is a show on Sci-Fi called Channel 1 Candle Cove. I haven't seen it, but apparently it's an anthology series. This is the first of the series, and it's all about creepypasta. Oh, have you heard of creepypasta?
Yeah, that's where we got Slenderman from.
Yes, so it's like internet folklore horror stuff.
Right.
And I don't think Max Landis wrote it, but it's like he produces it, or it's a part of his idea bank. He's involved in it somehow. And I thought that was kind of a cool idea. is that the an anthology series based off of that kind of stuff would be really cool. Little bite-sized, digestible, stories. That's cool. Like, why not? Like, to me, it's basically like, what do you call it? Tales from the Crypt, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
A modern day Tales from the Crypt. So I don't know how good it is. I don't know if it's any good. He's not writing it, so take it with a grain of salt. But I thought that was kind of interesting. And of course, he talked about his Harley J. Repson, or what's her name? You've seen his rant about what's that musician?
Uh,
Help me out here.
Give me a song or something, man.
Carly J. Jepsen.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen his video on that and his 150 page? I don't even know what you would call it. 150 page theory about Carly Rae Jepsen songs and how they're all connected.
No.
Oh my god!
That's
on our break. You need to watch. He released like a 5-minute video he shot on the set of Dirks Gently about how every song in Carly Rae Jepsen is about one thing and it's all connected. And it's 150 page crazy thing that he did as just a fun thing where he like those scenes in movies where they have the red string attached from one thing to another.
Right. Yeah. I'm picturing this I'm picturing like somebody in Arkham doing one of these. Like,
oh, he goes complete Batman villain in the he's like, I'm not crazy, you're crazy.
Oh, jeez.
He goes full Batman villain in the thing. He's like, it's cool. He's like, it starts off with like, have you ever thought of something and you're like, oh wow, I made that connection in that thing. I must be the first person who thought of that. And then you go online and then you realize that everyone else on the planet's made that connection. He's like, that's not what this is. I've actually found something. And, and he goes on and on and on. And it's called Uncover the Pattern. I don't know the actual website. I think it's like a scar no one can see a scar no one else can see.com is where his diatribe 150 pages of him talking about this conspiracy. He's so weird. I fucking love that guy.
I'll give him this. He's original. I'll give him that for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Like, he talks about like in the Game Over Greggy episode, he's like, if I made a modern day Superman movie, it would have oh god, now I'm forgetting the guy's name. The 10 guy.
Ty Dillinger?
He goes, I would put Ty Dillinger's theme song in that movie because that's how epic of a theme song that is.
He
goes,
not
I
wrong.
worked out to that song. He says like his alarm to wake up is Sasha Banks's theme song. So that was great.
I feel like that wouldn't wake me up though. Like, I need something that's gonna pop. Like, I could wake me up to Bobby Roode's. I'll wake the hell up. I'll jump out of bed. I hear that.
Oh yeah. But he's so interesting. There's so many different aspects of him. Like, he likes wrestling. He likes this. He's a fan of all of this stuff. At the same time, he was a rich kid that grew up in LA, so he has that whole aspect of him as well. Like, he'll sit there and he'll be like, they were talking about Batman vs Superman, and he was like, I hated that I was in that film. And they were like, what? And they go, pull up go to YouTube and look up Regarding Clark. It's one of his first videos he put on YouTube for this. He goes, mute the video and just watch me speak. Tell me that's not Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
It's dead on. All the mannerisms. He's like, you can tell they studied me for that film. There's just so many different aspects to him, and he's a super sweet guy. He used to be really arrogant, and he talks about that in it. He talks about, he's like, this is the new me. This is my new brand, and I'm not the Mr. Negativity on Twitter anymore, and I'm not that guy, and I'm all about, just having fun and being weird and not trying to put other people down for being weird about their weird thing and, stuff like that. So I thought it's a really cool episode on Kind of Funny. Sorry I went so long about that Candle Cove thing. But let's get into we got some time here. Do we want to bring up some of the topics first, or do we want to talk about the games coming out?
We can start to kind of go down the list.
Okay. Let's see here. Do you have the list in front of you?
I do, yeah.
I'm pulling it up myself. I just had it open, and here it goes. Okay, cool. So we are at the beginning of October, so that's kind of why I wanted to go into this. Like, for example, I just downloaded Golf Story. It's $14. Apparently, if you own a Switch, you really should buy this. It's a two people made this game, and it's a big hit. Apparently, it is supposedly really fun. It's 8 golf courses. You can drop down a tee at any time and tee off, and it's an RPG. But instead of the world being you're going out and fighting monsters and doing that or whatever, it's in this world where golf means everything, and you need to go out and play golf. And I don't know. It's go look it up. It is called Golf Story. It's for the Switch. It looks awesome. A lot of people compared it to like an Earthbound kind of game, so
it does have that kind of look, yeah.
It does, yes. What are some games? Because I know, like, for example, if you're listening to this now, you can go download. My mind's just going blank today. Actually, you go ahead. Go down to the list. Let me pull it up here.
Yeah, because I'm looking for like what's the first thing that's coming out that's on here that I'm like, I don't know, like nothing's really popping out at me.
So Stardew Valley is the one I was thinking of. That's out right now on the Switch.
Oh, cool.
It was announced this week, like, because we all know it was coming, but we didn't know when. And then the creators came out and said, oh, it's coming out on the 4th of this week. So Stardew Valley, huge game for PC, on consoles as well, and I imagine the Switch is the perfect place for it because you can get your crops and you can go visit people and you can go do all the crazy weird things in the game that seem lovable. The art style, by the way, of that is kind of like the Golf Story as well, so if you wanted to picture that in your head. Axiom Verge, also on the 5th, that's another great game that was on PlayStation, and I think Xbox and PC now. Axiom Verge is like a Metroidvania game, like to the T Metroid game, which, by the way, there is a Metroid game out on the 3DS right now that you should probably go play if you like Metroid. We didn't even talk about it. I got the Super Nintendo Classic.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, talk about that real quick.
Yeah, so that has a ton of fun games on it that I'm playing through Super Metroid, which, is awesome. It is, it's great. I want to play through all of Final Fantasy VI. That's my goal through the whole thing. I just want to go through Final Fantasy VI. But I keep getting distracted, and I keep going back to Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario World and Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, and all the different fun games. I took it over to my friend's house, and she has kids, and it was just so interesting because they've never played any of these things before. They don't know what any of this is.
Yeah.
I'm like, they know who Donkey Kong is, but they don't understand, like, where he came from. And obviously this is Donkey Kong Country, not the one from the 80s, but still, it's, to us, that is a classic that everyone should know. And they loved it.
Yeah.
They absolutely love it. They loved the Kirby Dream whatever, where the 8 different
Kirby's All-Star. Yeah.
Kirby All-Stars. Yeah, they loved that game because they just giggled every time he sucked something up, and they kept saying he pooped him out, and they became that thing. They loved Super Mario World. They loved Donkey Kong Country they were like, oh, he's got a buddy or whatever. Which, if you think about it, is Diddy Kong his brother? I always thought he was, but Donkey Kong is a gorilla and Diddy is a monkey.
I think if we're gonna break down the anthropology of this. Oh.
One's got a tail, one doesn't. I always thought they were brothers, but I don't know.
Isn't Diddy actually? Isn't he a chimp? He's a chimp.
He's a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. I think they're like supposed to be cousins. I think, and that's really all I'm gonna focus on that because they're all like really hot after Candy Kong, and I'm like, they all say Kong. So are they all the same family, or is it like a clan name, or what?
So that means Donkey Kong has a brother.
Maybe, I don't know.
Let's get that game. Let's get whatever Donkey Kong's brother is. So like, there's this whole family tree that's what I thought about when I was like, this is weird now, but oh my god, it's so much fun. The good thing is if apparently you want a Nintendo SNES Classic Mini, whatever it's called, you should be able to get it.
Yeah, they're
Nintendo is sending them out by there was the local store here, for example, when the NES Classic came out, the Best Buy that I went to said that they had, I think, 20 when the NES came out for a launch. They had 150 of the Super Nintendo, or I'm sorry, 180 something. It was close to 200. They said they plan on in the next few weeks getting the same shipments in.
nice.
So if you can, obviously everyone has work, everyone got things they got to do. Keep looking at these. Go on the websites. Follow Wario64 on Twitter. Set it to alert you on your phone when he tweets. The moment it ever goes live, you'll have a few minutes to be able to click the website and order it. I've had probably 6 friends be able to get it that very way. So if you want one, you really want one, you should be able to get one without getting scalped. Or, I'm sorry, without going to eBay or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, which, like on eBay, they're being sold for like 200 was the most, 150. You don't have to do that. Which they thought they were going to get like $400 or $500. No, because there's so many out there, which is good.
Yeah.
Awesome. We got to take a quick break. We'll get back into the video game stuff when we get back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcasts on the N.FM, and we'll see you all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcasts on the N.FM. One game I wanted to bring up real fast, 2 of them actually, for September. 3 of them, sorry. Cuphead just came out.
Yeah, that's right. Finally. After delay after delay after delay.
Absolutely. So you can get that on Xbox or Steam, or the Xbox on PC or whatever. Got great reviews. Apparently it's one of those super hard games, but super awesome once you win. FIFA 18 giant game came out. Story mode on the consoles and stuff like that. On the Switch, I guess they used last year's engine, so it can't do story mode. But apparently, if you're a Switch owner and you wanted a soccer game, it's a good game. You just need to know going in, it's not the story mode or any of that stuff. It's FIFA. So if you want FIFA on your Switch, apparently it's still a great game, but it's not the same versions as the console's brethren. Also, Total War Warhammer 2, which is something I want to dive into as well. It's on PC. So this month, I think the big ones for this month, there are a lot of big ones. They're Evil Within 2.
Yeah, for sure.
There is WWE 2K17, which apparently has loot crates, so that's going to be interesting. South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
Oh god, that's this month too. Fuck.
That's this one too, and I wish that was on the Switch. Why can't that be on the Switch? It seems so perfect for it.
I think that's I don't know. I think that's just a development issue.
Yeah.
It may give it a year. It may come to the Switch, and also, I don't know about that being on the Switch. Like that's I don't know. I think that may clash a little. I still think there's a little bit of family friendly intention behind Nintendo. Not like back in the day. Not like
we are going to be dropping acid and killing Nazis in America on the Switch next year. Doom this year, we are going to be ripping aliens' heads off in a bloody, gory way.
That's a fair point, but and that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know. I still think maybe there's a tiny bit of stigma, unless it's some kind of development issue. I think that's what it really is.
I agree. I wish it would come out on it, but I completely agree with you that. Let's be frank. I love South Park. I love that it's one of the things that I'm perfectly okay with it not being PC. That's the entire point of South Park.
Right.
If you're offended, don't play it, obviously. South Park's in a weird position because they came out in a time where it's just very different from now, where a lot of people now are very aware of what's going on. And South Park still... It's one of the outliners where it's like, we know times have changed, but we're still going to be social commentary and we're going to be offensive. That's just how we are. There's a class you can play. You can pick Paladin, whatever, and Jew in the first one. And this one, race is harder in the game if you choose what race you are. Like, they're going to make offensive things like that. And you should already know that with South Park. So I completely agree with you. I could understand why Nintendo would go, yeah, we don't want that on the system.
Right.
Especially if there's anything remotely like the first one where you're literally going in a guy's asshole.
Yeah, but I mean
and adventuring.
But I mean that's South Park. Like I mean,
And South Park,
that's and I don't know. I think maybe it's a little of both. I want to say I think it's a development issue.
Right.
But I
Well,
don't know.
This was before the Switch. That's the interesting thing is this year, I think personally has been the best year Nintendo has ever had.
Agreed.
And that is based off of the other companies not knowing how good of a year it was going to be for them. So I really do think that in the next year or two, we're really going to start seeing people throw their stuff onto the Switch and go, you know what? Mario and Rabbids made so much sense. Let's make a Mario MOBA game, and a third party can do that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think it's not going to be, for the last however long, it's been Sony and Microsoft 1 and 2 switching off and on, and Nintendo kind of way in the back in third. Mm-hmm. Once the Wii fever died down, and everybody on the planet bought one, and there was nowhere else for it to go, Nintendo was always just like, oh yeah, they have Mario, right? Like that was it, and shit got tough for them. But now I agree. I think in the next year or two we're gonna have a 3-horse race. I think it's gonna genuinely be. I think we're seeing the beginning of a Nintendo resurgence. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, think about it. In the first year of Nintendo being out, we have AAA Mario, AAA Zelda. We have a Sonic game that is amazing. We have a bazillion indie titles on it, like SteamWorld Dig 2 apparently is phenomenal. We have this RPG golf game. We have a Splatoon 2 game. We're going to get Doom on the system. We're going to get Skyrim. Now, granted, Skyrim and Doom are ports and older games, but still, those are huge. Like, those are going to sell because the idea of having those on the go is going to be amazing to a lot of people. To me, it's definitely 100% going to make me want to go out there and get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I think Nintendo's just and then on the horizon we have next year a Metroid game and a proper Pokemon game, which is awesome. Those are two things that I'm of course looking forward to next year. So. Yeah, dude. So speaking of October, Super Mario Odyssey, that's the big one for me. I think that is going to be so much fun to play. And if you don't have a Switch, there's also games like Wolfenstein 2 that's coming out, which is arguably one of the most games that people want this year, right? Like that's what I hear people talking about a lot.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 is going to be coming out in October for the PC, which is great. There's a lot of little cool things in between, like Fire Emblem Warriors and stuff like that. I know that the Pokemon Sun and Moon, I don't know what it's called. I'm just gonna call it the Evolved Edition.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
There you go. So if you haven't played those, get that version. That'd be cool. That 3DS is still chucking along. I wish that was gonna be. Just put it on the Switch already. Come on.
That's for the next one, and I get it. They don't want to just kill off the 3DS right away.
Right.
November. Don't forget Assassin's Creed Origins at the end of this month.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, coming out the 27th. I'm looking forward to that. That's the first time I've been excited for an Assassin's Creed game in a long time.
Yeah, people are saying that they took a lot of their homework from The Witcher, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm down. That's it. If you're gonna steal from the best.
Yeah,
I don't care.
And I think we talked about this before, maybe, but apparently there's a mode in it for schools and education where you turn off all forms of fighting and all that other stuff so that you can explore Egypt and learn.
Shit. Dude, I hadn't heard that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they want a teacher to put this in the classroom and you learn about Egypt. And obviously it's not a it's not a street by street of Egypt of what it was back then, but like there's like an educational mode where it tells a story about something and it shows action and there's cutscenes and whatever and it's all about ancient Egypt. And I thought that's so interesting because if you're not good at video games and you want to like experience an interactive thing, there you go.
That's really cool.
That is really cool.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Bubsy, the Woolly Strike Back is going to be on Windows.
I can't. Like, this is a thing. It's a new Bubsy game. Are you kidding me?
Bro, Bubsy's back, Sonic's back, Mario's back. Like, we're just having a great time here.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Mario and Sonic never went anywhere.
Think about this. In the same year, we got a, oh my god, how many different characters have we gotten back now?
It's a good
We
point,
got a Crash, we got Sonic, Mario, Zelda, like they're all, man, it's a great year. November, we got the big one at the beginning, Call of Duty World War II.
Yep.
Now here's one that I don't think is going to do good, but Sonic Forces.
I doubt it.
Yeah, it's that other game they released. It just looks like it's going to put it to shame. Mario Party Top 100. There's a Ben 10 game. Need for Speed Payback comes out November 10th, which looks cool.
I'm gonna get sucked into it and be disappointed because that's just what happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I am looking forward to playing L.A. Noire Remastered on the Switch because I've never played that game before.
I haven't either. When I was at Full Sail, they had like a dozen copies of it in the library because we had a lot of graduates who went to work at Rockstar, and they were super proud of that game, and I thought that was awesome, and I never played it, but it always did look kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Lego Mario Superheroes 2, which is cool. It's coming out on like everything Rhyme for the Switch. Tokyo Tattoo Girls, Pokemon the Sun and Ultra. That's November, I guess. A big one, and one I'm super excited for, is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
The beta is when we're recording Tuesday, tomorrow. When you're hearing this, the beta is live.
Yes, awesome.
Because I went and pre-ordered it just so I can play the beta. Because it's on this. Yep. It's the 4th, so do that. Like, that's gonna be cool. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, single player, multiplayer. There's like I've seen some charts out there where they show how many more vehicles are in this game, how many more things to do on the planets, and just all this stuff is just taken up to so many different levels. Which is awesome. I can't wait to dive into that, all the different locations you can go to, and then of course all of the DLC moving forward, the planets and characters and stuff they plan on adding is all going to be free.
Yeah,
which is amazing. Which
cool.
Is really cool.
And did you see they actually put the old servers for the first Battlefront 2 back online?
Yeah, they did. I thought that was really cool.
That's ridiculously cool.
Yeah, I might jump into that on Steam, which is really cool. Elder Scrolls Skyrim comes out on the 17th for the Switch. Sims 4 for PS4 and Xbox. Okay.
Hey, I mean, those things sell. Sims have been around for decades for a reason.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 for the Switch come out at the end of that month, and then into December. Not too much. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which Nintendo's been pushing out, which should be interesting. It's not something I'm interested in, but I'm keeping my eye on it because who knows. And not too much else for that month. Okami HD, I'm seeing, and a few different indie games. So those are the big games before Christmas, which is awesome. And then of course, I think just like this year, next year at the beginning, the first 4 months are going to be just slammed with games as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, let me look real quick at what we've got. Kirby Battle Royale for the 3DS. I keep forgetting they're doing a Final Fantasy Dissidia for PS4.
Oh yeah. Did you see the Final Fantasy game they're putting out on Switch, the 15?
No, what?
They're releasing Final Fantasy 15 on the Switch. The entire game, but instead of it being what?
Isn't it like Chibi, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just a different animation style.
But it's the same. It's the exact same game. It's just in a totally different style.
Yeah, which looks awesome. Like that's what I want. The Switch to me. I grew out of I need the best amazing graphics when it comes to like Nintendo, especially handheld. I don't need that. I just want fun, and to get something on that large of a scale That's why Skyrim is so intriguing to me.
Yeah.
To have Skyrim on the go, I thought we would never have that, something like that, on something to go. So yeah, to get a Final Fantasy game that giant on the Switch, fuck yes. We should be hearing about their virtual console in the beginning of next year as well. That's what they've been saying forever now. The beginning of 2018 is when all of that's being dropped. So
nice.
Ni no Kuni 2, Relevant Kingdom, on the 19th of January. And the big one that I'm hearing just so much buzz about is Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm not much of a Monster Hunter guy, but the more I see about this, I'm interested. I'm genuinely interested.
Absolutely. I Am Setsuna, the successor of that is The Lost Sphere, which comes out on Steam, Switch, and PS4 the 23rd as well.
That's a bizarre trio.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's because, it is odd. I don't know. I guess just they don't have a relationship with the Xbox, I guess. But, well, I guess it's on Windows. I don't know. I don't get it.
But
it was one of those games. Well, to be fair, I Am Setsuna was supposed to come out on Vita, and it never did in the States. It only came out in Japan.
That's true.
And because Americans were like, that game looks amazing, give it to us, they put it on PlayStation 4. And then it sold a lot. And then I Am Setsuna on the Switch sold a lot. And they were like, oh, wait, there's still an audience for this, turn-based, old, JRPG style game.
Yeah.
And it looks like that. It looks like I Am Setsuna, but like a new game of it, if that makes sense. And yeah, that Final Fantasy game you were talking about on PlayStation 4, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Secret of Mana is being re-released, Long Gone Days, Far Cry 5 in February.
That's the big one for February right there.
Yep. In March, The Crew 2. Yeah, let's see. And the other ones I don't really recognize.
Yeah, is it DLC for no, it's Yakuza 6, was it The Song of Life or something? It's not it's like a sequel to 6, but not really. It's like DLC plus. Like I think it's its own standalone thing.
Yeah.
That's like it's something weird like that. It's like the thing for Uncharted that they just did. It's that kind of thing.
And then there's a million other games that are Q1 and Q2 that just don't have official release date, like Dragon Ball Z Fighters and Dragon Quest Builders 2, and all of those kind of games that just don't like Fortnite, and God of War is apparently Q1.
Okay, sure, I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, who knows? I agree. Red Dead Redemption is set for Q2. Who knows?
I believe
that kind of stuff. Yeah. But needless to say, there is a lot of video games coming out. Way too much, I think, actually. Like an incredibly, like, if the wallet's gonna hurt. And it's one of those where, right now, Destiny, I think, has everyone's attention. I'm curious how that's going to hold up with all of these titles coming out, because we are in the beginning of October. At the end of October, I'm going to be in Mario Odyssey. I'm going to be in Wolfenstein. I'm going to be looking forward to, Skyrim next month, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know how I'm going to... if you know what I mean, like I think it's gonna be weird because when Destiny came out, there wasn't anything really that was like, oh, I can't, it was like everything was a year or two out. So I'm curious how that is gonna hold up, how they're gonna keep people's attention. And it'll probably be just one of those games that like, hey, everybody's online that I'm friends with, let's hop in a group chat and play. Oh, by the way, Giant Bomb for the last week have been trying to beat the raid. Okay. And I think they did 2 streams, 10 hours long. That was their day. They got paid to, they were like, we're going to do this, damn it. We're going to do this. Maybe the first stream was 10 hours. I don't know if the second one was, but, and the thing was, like, they knew how to do it. It just, everyone has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not looking forward to it, because that's not me. I'm that guy. Like, they're like, oh, why did we bring him?
Oh yeah, no, see that's me too. No, but they were all cool. Like once you figure it out, you're like okay. But yeah, man, it's we ran out of time though. We will get to the movies. I know you got a lot to talk about. My bad, man.
I'll have plenty. I'll have twice as many next week, so look out.
Exactly, and I'll go see it, and I'll try and catch up as much as I can. But that will be it for the show. Make sure you go to our Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes and throw a review there. Go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. And am I missing anything?
Email.
Yep, wegeekpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll see you guys next week. We'll have a lot to talk about. I'll tell you all about the golf story. All right, Captain.
Captain.